Hello, very warm and divine greetings of today to my precious friends. Dear friends, in today's session, we are basically going to explore the very vital aspects and the core intricacies of the Indian economy. That is, taking the holistic picture, taking in view various aspects of the recent developments which have taken place with regards to the role of women in science as emphasized by our respected Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. Along with this, we are also going to explore a very important development, that is Captain Shiva Chauhan, who has become the first woman officer to be operationally deployed on Siachen Glacier. What a great moment of patriotic pride it is, dear friends. Then we are going to take in view the various insights presented by Mr. Goyal to the industry, who emphasizes that we need to reap more from the MOOWR scheme. That is, the Commerce and Industry Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, on Tuesday, that is on 3rd January 2023, asked the industry to use the manufacture and other operations under warehouse rules, that is MOOWR scheme, which allows the duty-free import of products for the purpose of re-export. Then we are going to consider the trend of the gold prices, which actually hit the 2-year high at 55,702 rupees. Then we are going to explore various vital aspects of green energy. That is, the development of the hydrogen run trains on the heritage routes by the month of December in the current year 2023. This is really a very important development, as the railways will roll out hydrogen powered trains on its narrow gauge heritage routes by December, making them completely green. The Railway Minister, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, said on Tuesday, that is on 3rd January, the trains will be on the lines of those running in China and Germany. And also, we are going to discuss the basic development of the e-bus, that is the electric buses. The e-bus price discovery 29% lower than diesel. This is also a very fantastic news, and this is reported by CESL. The state-owned Convergence Energy Services Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Energy Efficiency Services Limited, that is EESL, on Tuesday said the prices discovered for the 6,465 electric bus tender were 29% lower than what it costs to operate the diesel buses. Now, my dear friends, let's discuss today's session in detail. So, we are going to start with the basic statement emphasized by PM, underlining the role of women in science, and it deals with women entrepreneurship, gender equality, and the basic sense of radiating respect to all the entities of the society, paying respect to all genders, be it the males or females, in equal importance without any disparity. And it is of core importance and is actually very crucial element for the development, the holistic development of the society. So, my dear friends, the Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji on 3rd January said that the growing role of women in the field of science and technology empowers both, and maintained that this is actually a sign of the country's progress. In his inaugural address at the 108th Indian Science Congress, he said, there is an abundance of data and technology which can be harnessed effectively in the next 25 years in order to explore the untapped spheres in science and hence make the country one of the most industrialized nations. In a virtual address, Mr. Modi said, our thinking is not just that we should empower the women via science, but also empowering science by the contribution of women. The increasing participation of women is actually a proof that women and science are both progressing in the nation. This is really the fantastic quote as said by respected Modi ji. I would like to repeat it. Our thinking is not just that we should empower women via science, but also empowering science by the contribution of women. Really great, sir. Thank you so much for contributing so much towards boosting the confidence of women who were actually the suppressed section of the society in our patriarchal setup. But your vision is actually helping to transform the nation radically in a true sense. Thank you so much, sir. He further says, the increasing participation of women is the proof that women and science are both progressing in the nation. The theme of this summit being held at Nagpur is basically science and technology for sustainable development and women empowerment. Science and technology for sustainable development and women empowerment. Modi ji maintained that in the last 8 years, India has taken up extraordinary tasks ranging from governance to society to economy, which is being discussed all over the world today, highlighting the women who showcase their strength to the world, be it in a partnership, in small industries and businesses, or leadership in the startup world. The Prime Minister gave the example of MOOWR Yojana, which has been instrumental in empowering the women of India. He further pointed out the doubling of women's participation in the field of external and extramural research and development. There is actually abundant availability of data and technology in 21st century India, and it actually has the potential to take Indian science to the new heights, to touch the sky. The field of data analysis is moving forward at a meteoric pace, which is of great help in converting information into insight and analysis into actionable knowledge, he said. From traditional knowledge to modern technology, each plays a crucial role in scientific discovery. Efforts of science can actually turn into great achievements only when they come out of the lab and reach the land, and their impact reaches from global to grassroots. When its ambit is actually from journal to jameen, and when the change is visible from research to real life, Modi ji said. So this is really a very, very insightful article, and this write-up is greatly very, very important because it touches the core aspects as quoted by Shri Narendra Modi ji regarding women empowerment, women entrepreneurship, and the extensive role of women in the holistic development of the nation. That is very well justifying the theme of the summit, where Modi ji has said these statements, that is science and technology for sustainable development and women empowerment. Now, on this note, my dear friends, I would like to mention that Captain Shiva Chauhan is actually the first woman officer to be operationally deployed on Siachen Glacier. What a wonderful moment of pride it is, full of patriotism. I am filled with great zeal and enthusiasm to present this particular article in front of you. And this news is of really vital importance once again. The Fire and Fury Corps officer, Captain Shiva Chauhan, underwent rigorous training, including endurance training, ice wall climbing, avalanche and crevasse rescue and survival drills, as she became the first woman officer to be operationally deployed at the world's highest battleground on the Siachen Glacier. Captain Shiva Chauhan was actually put through rigorous training along with other personnel, which included endurance training, ice wall climbing, avalanche and crevasse rescue and survival drills at the Siachen Battle School, the Indian Army informed on 3rd January 2023. She actually got inducted to the Siachen Glacier on January 2 this year after an arduous climb. The team of sappers led by Captain Chauhan will actually be responsible for numerous combat engineering tasks and will be deployed at the post for a duration of 3 months. Earlier today, the Indian Army informed about the feat achieved by Captain Shiva Chauhan. Captain Shiva Chauhan of Fire and Fury Sappers became the first woman officer to be operationally deployed in Kumar Post at the highest battlefield of the world, that is Siachen Glacier, tweeted the official account of Fire and Fury Corps of the Indian Army. The Twitter post has basically added a caption, "Breaking the glass ceiling," celebrating Shiva's feat. The Siachen Glacier is the highest battleground on Earth. I repeat, the Siachen Glacier is actually the highest battleground on Earth, that is on the entire planet, where India and Pakistan have fought intermittently since 1984. So this is really fantastic and brilliant news. It fills me with pride, and I hope it is doing the same effect on you as well, my guys. Now, we are basically going to discuss certain aspects as revealed by Mr. Piyush Goyal regarding the aspects of the industry, of the Indian industry, that is reaping more from the MOOWR scheme, that is manufacture and other operations under the warehouse rules scheme. The Commerce and Industry Minister, Mr. Piyush Goyal, on Tuesday, that is on 3rd January 2023, asked the industry to use the manufacture and other operations under warehouse rules scheme, that is the MOOWR scheme, which allows the duty-free import of products for the purpose of re-export, as it is a pretty practical, neat and simple solution to the problems faced largely by the small exporters. At an export award event, he also said the government is actually trying to devise a new scheme to support the domestic manufacturing of the machinery to produce trimmings, then embellishments and other accessories. Mr. Goyal said the Revenue Department's MOOWR scheme will actually make the business more competitive, as exporters will not be required to have advance authorization or license for every single product they import for the purpose of re-export. We will take up for the consideration your concern on import duty on leather goods. Irrespective of our ability to remove the import duty on that, I would like to urge you to use MOOWR scheme of the Department of Revenue, Mr. Goyal said at an event organized by the Council for Leather Exports. The minister said that many products in the leather industry continue to come from other geographies as well, and the BIS certification can be converted into the quality control order. Mr. Goyal said the government is trying to work for more free trade agreements, that is FTAs, with developed, high spending and high per capita income nations. I urge you all to look at new destinations to export and look at the newer products that we can even produce in India for import substitution, he said. We can't stop the substandard, low quality goods coming into India and ensure that you have to get a level playing field against the countries that don't have transparent or have opaque pricing or quality standards, Mr. Goyal told the industry. So after this insightful discussion on this particular aspect regarding the implementation of the MOOWR scheme in order to reap more in the industrial sector of India, I would like to move ahead in our discussion regarding the trend of the gold prices, which actually hit the 2-year high at 55,702 rupees. The gold prices in India on 3rd January 2023 touched a 2-year high at 55,702 rupees per 10 gram, and experts expect the metal to test the 56,200 rupees level it hit in August 2020 when COVID-19 was in its full swing. The rising prices have actually impacted the wholesale jewelry demand in Asia's largest gold market, Zaveri Bazaar in Mumbai, where the sales have basically fallen almost 70% from the last week of December 2022, when the prices started firming up, the traders said. Retail jewelers said demand had dropped 40% as the customers were in a wait and watch mode. The Zaveri Bazaar typically records a daily turnover of 900 crore rupees according to the traders. Demand for gold as an investment is likely to increase in 2023 amid the fears of recession, said Mr. Surendra Mehta, National Secretary of the India Bullion and Jewelers Association. In the third quarter of 2022, he said the global central banks purchased more than 400 tons of gold, the largest for a quarter in several years. Also, the recession fears across the globe are driving the demand for gold, a safe haven asset, Mr. Mehta added. The price jump on Tuesday, that is on 3rd January 2023, was partly triggered by the International Monetary Fund chief Kristalina Georgieva's comment that a third of the global economy would enter recession this year and that 2023 would be tougher than the last year as the United States, European Union and China would see their economies slow down. The retail sales of gold jewelry have also fallen due to the price hike. The prices of gold can further go up from here, experts feel. So we really need to proceed with more caution in this particular industry as the gold prices are expected to hit the 2-year high at 55,702 rupees. Now, we are going to discuss certain vital aspects pertaining to the green energy in the transportation sector. That is, we are going to consider the overall transportation economics in the railway industry and also in the bus industry. In case of railways, we are going to consider the fuel, hydrogen, and in case of buses, we are going to consider the EV technology, that is the electric buses. Firstly, we are going to discuss about the railway sector. In case of the railway sector, the hydrogen run trains are on the heritage routes by December 2023. The railways will roll out hydrogen-powered trains on its narrow gauge heritage routes by December, making them completely green. The Railway Minister, Mr. Ashwini Vaishnaw, said on Tuesday, that is on 3rd January 2023, the trains will be on the lines of those running in China and Germany. As a pilot project, the Railways is manufacturing a prototype of hydrogen fuel-based train at the Northern Railway Workshop. It would be the test run on the Sonipat Jind section in Haryana. We will roll out the hydrogen trains on the heritage routes from December 2023. This will mean that these heritage routes will go completely green, said Mr. Vaishnaw. Worldwide, there is a bid to replace the diesel-powered locomotives with hydrogen-propelled engines wherever full electrification is actually difficult or too expensive, as it offers an emission-free, quiet alternative that can be economically competitive. Germany's Corradilla Island is the world's first passenger train powered by a hydrogen fuel cell which produces the electrical power for traction. This zero-emission train emits low level of noise, with exhaust being only steam and condensed water. This train can run 1,000 kilometers at a speed of 140 kilometers per hour at one go. This train was being tested in Germany since 2018. China too recently launched Asia's first hydrogen-powered trains for the urban railways. It gets a range of 600 kilometers on a single tank with a top speed of 160 kilometers per hour, according to the reports. The Indian Railways heritage routes, which primarily run on diesel, are Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, Nilgiri Mountain Railway, Kalka Shimla Railway, then the Methuen Hill Railway, Kangra Valley, Bilmora Waghai, and Marwar Devgarh Madria. All are actually the narrow gauge. So this is really amazing to discuss this particular aspect of the railway sector in Indian economy. That is the hydrogen run trains on the heritage routes by December 2023. Now, my dear friends, I would like to proceed towards the e-bus price discovery trend, which is actually 29% lower than the diesel as reported by CESL. The state-owned Convergence Energy Services Limited, a wholly owned subsidiary of Energy Efficiency Services Limited, that is EESL, on 3rd January 2023 said the prices discovered for the 6,465 electric bus tender were 29% lower than what it costs to the operation of the diesel buses. This unified tender constitutes demand for the electric buses from 6 Indian states and the Union Territories, that is Delhi, Telangana, Haryana, Surat, which is in Gujarat, Kerala, and Arunachal Pradesh, a statement said. This is the first tender under the National Electric Bus Program. The lowest price discovered for a 12-meter bus intra-city was actually 54.3 rupees per kilometer, and 12-meter bus, which is actually intercity, for rupees 39.8 rupees per kilometer. For a 9-meter bus, the price discovered was 54.46 rupees per kilometer, and a 7-meter bus was 61.92 rupees per kilometer. The prices basically do not include a subsidy and are 29% lower than what it costs to operate the diesel buses, it stated. This is actually a remarkable step by helping to transform our state transport authorities and build out a new market for the electric mobility in India. Mr. MOOWR Acharya, MD and CEO of CESL, said in the statement. Further quoted by this great pioneer, the addition of this tender is a part of the central government's vision to deploy 50,000 electric buses on the roads in the next few years, whilst strengthening, modernizing and greening the public transport in India. I repeat, strengthening, modernizing and greening the public transport in India are the key objectives behind this drive. The prices realized set a benchmark for the public transport, the price point for which may encourage even the smaller cities to adopt the electric vehicles. This price discovery represents the electric mobility as a service, a relatively new and emerging business model that makes it affordable for the state transport undertakings to adopt the electric buses. The electric buses will be deployed both within the city limits and on intercity routes, with the latter being able to do 325 kilometers on a single charge. The value of the tender is over 30,800 crore rupees. The buses are expected to operate around 5,718 million kilometers over 12 years, saving 1,842 million liters of fossil fuel. So this will result in 4.62 million tons of carbon dioxide equivalent from tailpipe emissions, a major step towards mitigating the climate change. Under the gross cost contract, that is the GCC model, the private operator brings the bus and operates it for a period of 10 and 12 years against the predetermined conditions as set out in the tender. The state transport utilities on their part pay a fee for the bus service. CESL was mandated by the Niti Aayog under the then CEO Mr. Amitabh Kant to implement a national program of 50,000 e-buses. So this is really great, where we have considered the overall transportation economics strategies and framework for making e-bus a great success in the Indian economy, and whose price discovery is actually 29% lower than diesel. So this is really remarkable, as quoted by the Convergence Energy Services Limited, CESL, a wholly owned subsidiary of Energy Efficiency Services Limited. So the electrification of buses is really of vital importance from the holistic viewpoint. So dear friends, this was truly a remarkable session wherein we have discussed the core aspects of the Indian economy and the recent developments which have taken place, right? So we have taken a holistic view of all the sectors. We have tried to cover maximum developments which have taken place across the Indian economy in various sectors which are of vital importance. So I would like to conclude my session here itself, and I request you again to please subscribe my YouTube channel so that you keep getting notified regarding our economic updates, so that you stay aware of the recent developments, and we discuss the news on this platform in great detailed analysis, which helps to present the facts in a better manner. We try to interpret the developments which are taking place in a holistic manner, and how they are of vital importance for the development of the entire nation. So, my dear friends, I would like to conclude my session here itself, and I really wish you take very good care of yourselves until we meet next. And I'm emphasizing this particular fact because the weather is changing and the winters are actually increasing in their overall intensity. Yes, my friends, we need to keep ourselves very warm. It is of vital importance. So, thank you so much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.